Hi guys, I'm going to be doing something a little different. This is going to be a multi-part video in which I discuss my foundational beliefs, which has shaped not only my magical practice, but my entire life. And I want to share that with you in the hopes that it helps you on your path to give you a starting point, something to think about. It's not something to take as gospel. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, compare it to what you've learned, and as you study, test it. Uh, I'm human and fallible just like the rest of you, but this is what I've learned, what I've been told by guides and in my studies, and I want to share it as giving a potential foundation to build on for those of you who are new, especially if you come from a religious background like I did. I was a Christian for 20 years, worked in ministry actively for 20 years. I was a full-time licensed pastor for 10. So it was a huge part of my life. And it was a huge change to move away from that when I had my little wilderness experience that took a couple of years. And as I started getting more and more brave enough to actually really study the occult, because there's a huge stigma around it, especially if you come from a religious background, which I'm sure most of you are well aware. So it took a long time to work through that, and a lot of shadow work and meditation and work with guides. And I'm still working through it, I'm sure. But what really helped was learning the truth behind uh, who we are, what we are, why we're here, why things work the way they do, on a very, very basic level. Very, very basic. I'm not purporting to know everything, not even close. But to start with, we're going to talk about what we are. A lot of magical sources talk about, we are immortal beings, which is true. That we have the power of gods, when we learn to harness it, which is also true because we are made from the source. We are made from the ultimate source of everything. We are all one. We're all connected. That's how that works. But what we are, in reality, is a soul. Most common beliefs is the soul is something that's within inside of us. The reality is the soul is who we actually are. It exists in spirit. It's not in the physical world. It is in another realm entirely. That is our higher self, is the soul. That is the immortal being that we are. What we are here are, I think of it as like shards of consciousness from that soul. We are a very vivid dream. Each life that you live is a very vivid dream where you're here to do specific things and learn specific lessons in order to grow. Because in spirit, there is no negativity, there's no pain, there's no sorrow, there's no hate, there's no anger. It is just light and love. And in order to grow, you need challenge, you need pain, you need something to, iron sharpens iron. That's a very popular saying for a reason. You can't grow if you don't ever experience anything outside of that cover zone. And so the way that souls grow is by experiencing things through this kind of like a training program. And they run it thousands and thousands of times. You have hundreds, if not thousands, of different lives. Not only that, but that's not even counting the alternate lives, alternate versions of you that, you make one choice here and another choice here, and you have branching timelines. It gets really, really complicated really, really quickly. But the general gist is you are just a projection, you're an avatar, and you have a list of things in this life that you came here to accomplish, to learn, lessons to learn and to grow. And the conditions of your life were set that way to help do that, to accomplish those goals. Sometimes it's, you're the good guy, you're the main character, you're trying to go through and you're just leveling up, you're trying to grow and spiritually and improve yourself. That's the whole point of this life, is to improve yourself as much as possible. But sometimes we go the other way and we become the villain, and in that sense we're helping others to grow because we are the conflict that causes others to grow. We have different roles in different lives. It's that's how it plays out. But the good news is that means you don't have to be afraid of dying. You don't have to be afraid of wasting this life. You're here to do something specific. And then when you die, it's like waking up eventually. There's a lot of steps in between it, and we'll go into more detail in the video about that. But generally, this life, when you wake up, it's like remembering a dream. You'll remember who you really are. This life doesn't just go away. It's not like your entire family was meaningless, your life was meaningless. No, you remember everything, but it's like waking up from a dream, a very intense lucid dream. You wake up and you say, wow. But then you remember, this is who I am. Now I remember. But you still carry over that experience, if that makes sense. So this is already going a little long, so we'll end it here for part one. I appreciate your time, and I hope these videos are helping. Until next time.